Welcome, everybody, to One Stage at a Time, the podcast where we're playing through video games one stage at a time, not skipping a single level. We are currently playing through Castlevania Symphony of the Night, and we are back to the library. Library Part 2. I am Aaron Neeson. I'm joined by Andy Prim. Hello, Andy.
I'm glad to be back in the library, Aaron.
Yeah. We love libraries. We love libraries so much. And we are joined by Sam Ingersoll. Hello, Sam.
Hello. I can't leave the library. I spend all day there at work, and I come back home, and I got to go back to one again.
Your whole life is the library.
You're
like when Saint Germain was trapped in the infinite corridor.
Or that one dude who got stuck in that owl's library in Avatar: The Last Airbender. You will die there, Sam, surrounded by books.
Yeah, but I don't have to care about the books anymore, which is the nice part.
That's true. You can just ruthlessly cut them apart. Can you believe that we're back in the long library?
The long library just got a little bit longer.
That's true. It really did. Do you think the master librarian was like happy to see Alucard again?
Oh yeah,
man. He's like fucking wheeling and dealing with an Alucard. Nobody else comes there, and Alucard's got the cash. So yeah, Alucard's a whale. The master librarian's like, all right, here he comes.
Oh,
another
Master
Alucard,
Alucard.
my way.
I've successfully catfished you, Master Alucard. You thought that I was an 18-year-old girl, but it was me.
Yes, that he was catfishing him. Yeah.
So did you guys use the library card that we got last time to warp back here?
No. I had saved right next to one of the warps, so it didn't take me long to get back to it. Just to go through the warps and hop back in.
Yeah, and I'm of the mindset just for no particular reason, but that the library cards should be saved for an emergency of some kind.
It's the mega elixir conundrum, where you save your mega elixirs for when you really need them in a Final Fantasy game, and then you never use them.
You guys are blowing my mind right now. Like one of the only means of fast travel in the game, and they only cost like 500 gold. And whenever you use one, you warp to the merchant that sells you them. So you just have to make sure you buy one every time you warp back there.
But if you do that enough times, it's like, man, I could have bought XYZ.
Oh, but you get gold at such a fast rate in this game. 500 is nothing.
I think I just, it was really close. Like, it was literally like one hallway, and I was back in the library.
That's true. Because we did stop last time in the Coliseum, right, fellas? And so we defeated the werewolf and the Minotaur, and then we met up with Richter Belmont, and then we got the Form of Mist from the Coliseum. And so I guess from there, did you guys just hike back to Olrox's quarters and use the warp that was there?
Yes. Yeah, I think that's how I did it. Yeah. Took it to the outer wall. Is there an outer wall warp?
Yeah.
Back to the outer wall. Take the elevator down and hop off and just go straight, and you're in the library.
Yeah. Yep. So it's not that long of a walk. I use the library card because my time is valuable. I don't have time to waste walking around. I'm going to fast travel, baby. So we're back in the long library. We've got more to explore this time, though. There's like some parts like in the top right, and then there's other parts like over to the left. Because basically you've got the big open gallery, like the main room of the library. And there's like some platforms up on the top left that you can't quite jump to. And then, at least with like a single jump. Once you have the double jump, you can. But then there's other stuff in like the top right. Which way did you guys go first?
Well, the thing is, I went through this on accident the last time we played.
So this is a repeat visit for you.
Yeah, I did probably most of what you guys did this time last time.
Okay.
Because I got the shield rod, and I knew the iron shield was going to be the one I wanted. And again, I didn't use the library card, so I ran back, but I had double jump, and I forgot where the librarian was, and I ended up going through the part you have to go to later. So I got all the way through it, the part we're going to talk about now, last time. I went back for one specific thing that we'll talk about this time, but I'm going to say I went left the first time, I believe, if I'm remembering things correctly.
Okay. Well, that is the way that you're kind of sort of supposed to go to get the next progress item. But again, you're making my case for why you should have just used the library card. But Aaron, what about you? Which way did you go?
No, I did the same. I went left first. If I'm remembering correctly, I went left first to where the multi-layered area, I think, was the first place that I went.
Okay.
If I remember correctly, with the armor beans, the armor,
the flea man armors.
Yeah, those little assholes jumping around all over the place.
It's not enough that those dickheads were flying around. Now they got armor. What is with these guys?
Now they got armor, and they don't stun when you hit the armor off them. They keep coming at you.
Yeah,
they're pretty fucking annoying. I got a new most hated enemy after those damn Medusa heads.
Alucard's like, I have lived for 10,000 years, and this is what I have to deal with. Little fleamen jumping around.
These little assholes. Oh no, I'm sorry. Listen, I'm gonna do. It's been sticking with me how I watched the Castlevania show, and it really just struck me how much everybody whispers in that show. There's all this shit going on, and there's a huge battle happening, monsters exploding and raging, and Alucard's like, Belmont, I hate you so much, Belmont.
You're right.
I was like, he can't hear you. That's bullshit.
That's a pretty good Alucard impression. Who is it that plays Alucard? Because he's someone, right? He does it in a high pitched kind of elfin voice, which makes sense for the character. He's all pale with silver hair. But I looked him up, and he's somebody I've seen him in some. Or is it Gaius Baltar?
I'm looking it up right now.
Because Gaius Baltar is someone on the show, whatever that guy's name is in real life. The guy who played Gaius Baltar on Battlestar Galactica, he was somebody. There's a lot of good actors in that show. Bill Nighy plays Saint Germain later. Malcolm McDowell.
It's the Balthazar guy plays.
All right.
James Callis.
There you go. Chalk one up for Andy. I successfully remembered a bit of trivia.
So, but to answer your question, he's not somebody anymore.
That's why he's doing Castlevania, the TV show.
Yeah, let's see. I don't think he's done much lately. He was on the reboot of MacGyver.
Oh, there you go. Off to the races.
But I was thinking about it just a second ago. The real reason I probably never used the library card is that it's a pain in the ass to go open the menu, go to your hand, scroll down, find the library card, equip the library card, then use it.
Alucard's
so maybe if I bought 5 of them, I'll never do that because I'm using the shield rod. So that's probably why. I'm lazy, but I'm in the end doing more work.
Master Alucard, why don't you buy more than one library card just in case?
$3 for $1.
I can never find this thing. It's I take it out of my wallet and then I can't find it. And then it's been more than a year since I renewed my card, but I've moved my address and I don't have a piece of mail that has my current address on it.
I'm sorry. We'll have to put a hold on your account, sir, that you can get your photo ID in.
No.
Someone might have stolen it.
But
they can check out materials on your account.
I need to check out the final trade paperback of Invincible.
I'm sorry, sir. There's nothing we can do. We can mail you this postcard that'll have your address on it. You can bring it back to us as proof of address.
I'm going to sleep for another 1,000 years. I can't take this.
I want to talk to the new librarian in the new castle 300 years from now.
I have another question. I met a talking book that said its name was Adventure and another one that said its name was Fantasy. And they said I was the page master.
And then Michael Jackson was there.
It was a very strange dream that I had.
Yeah. I don't want to talk about the rest of the dream, though.
I was animated. I guess I'm always animated, but this was a different kind of animation.
Michael Jackson sexually molested me.
There, I said it.
Is that what you wanted from me, librarian?
Is that what you wanted to hear, librarian?
Buy a library card and leave.
And don't tell your parents you were here.
Tee-hee. Woohoo. I forgot. Okay, so we're watching a lot of stuff that we're not talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got the video playing. So we're kind of in a disused portion of the library. Like it looks like people don't come to this section as much. Like it feels to me like it's a little more beat up and there's like fewer books on the shelves, which I guess makes sense because we couldn't come here until now. But yeah, it's like the monsters are fiercer back here. It seems like a discrete section in a way, like a separate subsection.
Well, you notice how there's no books either back there.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah, I really dug the aesthetic, like getting down there a little bit, like into almost practically the catacombs and finding bookshelves overturned and shit laying on the floor and stuff. It was pretty cool aesthetic. I liked it a lot, actually.
And then of course there's creatures haunting this section. I'm going to go back. We're getting too far now. Let me go back in the video so we can admire the creatures in this area. Because like we said, there's the flea man armor. But we also got like these. Did we see the headless guys before? The Dollahans, the guys that have like the rapier and they're like carrying their head around in their hand.
I think we've seen them before.
Those guys are cool. I like them.
If you leave them alone long enough, they like call a lightning bolt onto their sword and like power it up.
No way.
Yeah, really? if you because my cat jumped on me or something, so I set my controller down. Yeah, he just goes like. And then his sword glows blue.
Dude, that's
I guess
sick.
It does more damage.
I never knew that. Yeah, because I always just kill those guys in one hit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're so easy. You don't even hesitate.
Okay, check this out. We're watching this long play, and the guy who's playing it is demonstrating that when you double jump, you can actually do a down kick through the air. Like after you double jump, you hold down and press jump or attack, and then Alucard does like a dive kick, and you could use that if you hit something in the air, you kind of bounce off, and then you can jump again. So he uses that to get someplace he's not supposed to be yet.
I like how he does it, but then like in 2 minutes he could just do it with the bat.
It's totally pointless. It saves no time.
He's just showing off.
I need to go back though because I didn't realize there was a familiar up there.
Yeah,
the first familiar in the game.
We got the fairy familiar. We got this cute little fairy that can follow us around. Aaron, did you find the fairy familiar?
I did. Yes, I did. And it was really annoying to activate because like it didn't just turn on its own. I went and you see like in the menu, you see like a little familiars spot. You can go to that and check out your familiars, but you can't activate them from there. You have to go into your relics and activate the fairy card. Right. And it was really annoying. I had to Google. I'm like, where is my fucking fairy? God damn it.
You're just like typing all caps into Google.
Yeah. Where's my fucking fairies?
And I probably, don't want to Google that.
Yeah, Aaron's on a list now.
Glad's all over my ass now.
Do I remember correct that familiars will level up?
They will.
Over time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And,
that's right.
Sorry, my cat was scratching furniture.
You get like 1 XP per kill or something for them.
Okay, because I wasn't sure what the mechanic was. And is it whenever Alucard kills something, or do they have to deliver the kill?
I'm not totally sure. I didn't see my fairy kill anybody, so I'm like, I hope it's when I kill them because she's not doing shit right now.
Yeah,
I just remember one of the other familiars later that I like. You could remember it getting stronger.
Yeah, definitely.
And like maybe new attack or something.
I think that's
it's all very foggy.
Yeah,
in my mind.
I think that's right. And I feel like it's actually pretty hard to level up familiars and that like really you should just kind of pick one and just stick with that one because
that's the way to do it. Yeah.
But man, when I get a ghost though, I'm going to have a little ghost friend.
you can have a little ghost friend.
I know, but you say I should stick with my fairy.
Well,
no, you should not stick with the fairy.
No, you should just pick one that you like and just use that one.
Okay. Once you find one that's cool, you think's cool, just don't flip it out.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I like the little hot lady floating around me all the time. But
Aaron's got a fairy fetish.
It's Tinkerbell's fault. You know, saw it at a young age.
Julia Roberts Tinkerbell?
No. Julia Roberts' toothy smile, while it has its charm, doesn't do it for me very much.
Aww, poor Julia. I heard a rumor that she was really difficult to work with on that set.
I mean, she was like at the top of her game there, right? Like she was true. It's her and Robin Williams and Steven Spielberg. Those three they were at peak of their peakness when they were doing Hook.
That's true.
Like, so it doesn't surprise me that they clashed a little bit.
Yeah. And kind of weird that like at the height of her powers, she took the role of Tinkerbell, a very minor role in that movie.
But it's a Spielberg movie, though, you know?
Yeah.
It was probably
she could have been under heavy makeup as a pirate.
You know, maybe she
Like
was
Glenn
just
Close.
Like Glenn Close, yeah.
she was just she went into the movie because it was Spielberg, but was angry that she didn't have a bigger role.
Because it's a little.
I see what he did there. These are the jokes, folks. That's what you tune in for.
It's what you're here for, and you get what you paid for, folks.
Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly right. Well, we were talking about something, but I forget what it was. So let's shift gears a little bit and discuss the boss of this area, because now there is indeed a boss. We didn't see one before, unless you count the Master Librarian's exorbitant prices as a boss of sorts. But actually, apparently deeper in the library, the Master Librarian has imprisoned a demon, an actual kind of demon, deep in the library here. And Sam, I'm noticing that you have it as your Zoom background there. The Lesser Demon.
It was a lesser effort boss fight is what they should have called it.
Yeah.
It's definitely the what do they call it, like a boss rush sort of, but not bosses, and it's a constant spawn of enemies.
Yeah,
it was okay. It seemed a little bit like filler boss, because he dies really quick the first time. Like basically the fight is you go in. He's cool, kind of cool looking, small in stature demon, got some goat legs, some bat wings or something. Mm-hmm. And he just kind of stomps around, you kill him, and he like explodes on fire, but then he like raises up in the air and kind of flies around summoning enemies underneath him.
Yeah, that's his whole gimmick. He like makes ads disappear.
Does he?
Well,
yeah.
The long player that we're watching kills him like super quick using a weapon called the Holy Rod. So we don't get to see any of his attacks whatsoever.
Yeah, it went down very similarly for me. Like I froze time, and then I kicked his ass so hard that he just burned up and disappeared. Like he did. Yeah. I didn't see any spawning of any enemies at all.
Yeah,
like,
he'll fly through the air and then like do like a cone of like a cylinder of light, and then a random enemy will come out and jump around.
Yeah, and they're not very strong enemies, right? It's just like little shambling zombies and shit.
Yeah, it was not hard, but yeah, I don't know. I didn't have the shield rod yet, so I was just doing regular hits. So I didn't like myrtleize him.
Okay. When
I went through the first time.
Yeah, I think when I first fought him this playthrough, I just used traditional weapons and sub weapons and things like that. But I wonder if the reason why he's not as tough is because the game is so open wide now. Like technically we could have come here and fought him earlier as soon as we got the Leap Stone, but we went to the Colosseum first.
That could be it.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, maybe they were having trouble with balance because they really have no way of knowing how strong you're going to be for a given fight.
And once he goes up in the air, he doesn't come back down. So you're going to have to like jump. The difficulty of the fight is like not getting hit by the enemies he spawns, so you could jump up and hit him in the air.
Yeah.
So it's more of he doesn't really pose any threat damage wise, but there's like the mechanic. It feels just kind of like let's put something in here compared to the other bosses.
Because also he's like, he looks kind of cool, but it's also not that creative of a design.
He looks more like an enemy. Like he looks like a regular enemy.
He's not very big. He's about your size. He's not very big. He doesn't have any many distinguishing features. It's just he's got two tones of color and not much else. He's got just wings and he's man shape. Like at least, like what's his face? Like Gaibon or whatever. Yeah. I can't remember which one it is. Like Gaibon looked more intimidating. The first boss looked more intimidating than this guy. Like
he's like, well, sir, I may be a lesser demon, but I work just as hard as any other demon out there. I give 110%.
You can't take that away from me.
I'm a God-fearing Wallachian, and that's all right with me.
Raised Dracula.
It's honest work. It ain't much, but it's honest work.
Fuck, I'm dead.
Shit.
Yeah. That's what hard work will get you. Honesty and hard work will get you murdered by Alucard in your own house.
Surrounded by your beloved books.
I like this guy's arena because it's interesting. There's no screen transition here. Usually before we go into a boss room, it's pretty evident. But in this case, you're just walking through a larger room. And when you get to one section of it, like some books fall down behind you, forming a barrier. And then the lesser demon appears and you're trapped in his little arena there.
Yeah, it just occurred to me like that we just beat up a poor bookworm. Like he's just hanging out reading books. Like he doesn't get any exercise or nothing. He just likes to live in his little Just likes to go through his books, and we just showed up and beat the shit out of this nerd.
The master librarian's like, "Could you help me out, Master Alucard? This lesser demon keeps showing up just to use the internet." I've told him he can only be at the computer for an hour at a time, but he won't listen.
He waits till someone else is at the desk to ask for another guest pass.
He knows he's not supposed. He knows he's not supposed to look up porn on the computers. I told him 100 times.
In fact, that's all he looks at. Yes, kill him, murder him, Alucard.
Poor pervert little nerd demon. Aw.
It's not the normal stuff either. It's the weird stuff.
Yes, you've murdered him, Alucard. Now the porn is all mine.
I was going to say, damn it. Beat me to
it. Would you like another library card, Alucard?
Don't tell anyone about this, Master Alucard.
It's our secret.
Oh, man. I love this sinister character we've constructed for the master librarian.
Horny old man. It is a cool
horny old pedophile man.
Pedophile, maybe.
Meanwhile, our Alucard is a Luddite who's trying to destroy all the books.
Yeah, he fears knowledge.
I don't own a cell phone.
Yeah, I still have a flip phone, and I'm very proud of it, and I always mention it to everyone I meet.
But it really feels like maybe they ran out of time. Because, like, the background and the way that they transitioned to it being different than normal, it seems like maybe they were going to do something bigger, but just didn't have the time, so they kind of maybe used an enemy that they were going to do for something, use for... later in the game, and then kind of gave some animations and summoned what sprites they already had.
Yeah, maybe.
Which is fine. Maybe. It happens a lot.
Yeah, that's probably right.
It could just also be like they just wanted something. They're like, let's not make it a huge boss. They just had to fight through all those little armor guys and stuff. I mean, let's just put a little something here, because it's not like a huge story point. It's you get the bat form. It's not. It's not like when you met Richter and stuff, and it's not the first boss.
I guess it just feels weird compared to most of the other bosses.
It does, and this game is where they really start going buck wild with the bosses, because there's 30 bosses in this game. It's crazy. And if you like the older Castlevanias, they would have 8 to 12 stages or whatever, so that's a decent amount of bosses. But there's a crazy amount in this game, and then if you compare it to Super Metroid, there's only 5 really bosses in Super Metroid.
Yeah, there's not a lot in that game.
They're like more climactic confrontations though.
Yeah, and there's some it's not that it's a bad event or whatever, right, but it's just there's a lot of things that make it feel just strangely not in line with the rest of the boss fights in the game. That's
true. And we will see, I think there's when we get to the second half of the game, there's going to be a lot of bosses that are kind of underwhelming. Most of them, or at least a lot of them, have pretty cool designs and aesthetics, so that kind of adds something to it. But some are actually very, very hard. Surprisingly so. You're not expecting that level of challenge. But we'll see that when we come to it.
Yeah, because even if the gameplay of the fight isn't as interesting as it could be, most of the bosses look like we were saying before, Gaibon and stuff. You look at him okay, there's a bit more pixels in this guy. He looks kind of crazy. He's kind of a boss character. Not so much with this guy.
No, he's not that intimidating.
He looks like a cool enemy, but you know.
We've met other random enemies that are more intimidating,
your Aaron's
Cthulhu.
plant lady.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the Aaron's waifu.
Yeah,
man. Yeah,
I would almost say
alligator
that
lady, what's up?
I would almost say that the armored flea guys were more interesting than the lesser demon.
Well, you know
Visually,
what? You know what?
Yeah.
You know what it should have been. They should have had Puppet Sword as the boss, but make it like a variant, so he's got like books swirling around him or something. That would have
There
been
you
cool.
go. Or a really
been
big
cool.
flea guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
big flea.
Yeah.
Have you guys played? I know the answer is probably no, but Castlevania Harmony of Dissonance for the Game Boy Advance. It's the second one they made for GBA.
Is that the one with
not.
the guy in the white trench coat?
I think so, possibly.
Is it the first one with guns?
Possibly.
Because I remember one of them had like you just straight up like 1911s and assault rifles and all that kind of stuff.
So this one is like it's got a 2 castles mechanic, but it's like a light world, dark world kind of thing. And it's just not implemented very well. It's very confusing.
Right. I think we talked a little bit about that on the when we fought Doppelganger.
I think so, yeah, because they reused that same portal from the Doppelganger fight in that game. But because it's 2 castles, there's like 30 or 40 bosses. It's just outrageous. And after a while, it's just like, ooh, you remember Minotaur? Now it's Big Minotaur.
Big Otar.
Yeah. They really ran out of steam.
They only have so many assets, man. What are you going to do?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I guess it's hard to make a
more
video
of
game.
them.
Not everybody's Shigeru Miyamoto who can delay the launch of the Nintendo 64 to have a little more time from Mario 64.
Yeah.
Like your game comes out when it fucking comes out, unless you're that guy.
Shigeru
I did not play
Miyamoto,
that one.
He hasn't.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say Miyamoto like hasn't made a game in like 25 years. All he seems to do now is just like show up and like interrupt the production of other games and tell them everything they're doing is bad and that they need to start over.
I played Aria of Sorrow, a little bit of that one.
Okay.
That's the one with the guy in the white trench coat.
That one is sick. I would actually say unreserved recommend on Aria of Sorrow. I remembered something I was going to mention earlier about the fairy familiar. In certain versions of this game, the fairy will talk to you. And Aaron, I was wondering, in the version you're playing, did you get the fairy speaking to you?
No.
Okay.
Like verbally speaking to you, or like with text?
She talks to you. She even sings on occasion.
Not that I noticed. I didn't spend a lot of time with it though. I got towards the end of my gaming for this episode, and I try not to play too far beyond where we're going to talk about. So not that I noticed, but I will definitely be I'll keep a sharp ear for that.
Okay. What about you, Sam? Does your version have any singing?
I actually didn't pick up the fairy. I didn't know she was there.
Oh, right.
So I'll have to go back and get her.
You said that earlier. Well, I think that in the Japanese version, she had a bunch of voice clips, and when Alucard sits down, she'll occasionally land on his shoulder and sing a little song. And in the Dracula X Chronicles version of the game, which is the one I'm playing, they added in, because they redid all the English voice work for that one, and they added in English dialogue for the fairy. So I do get some fairy clips in my game, which I'm not using her, so I don't get to hear those very often, but they're there. So there you go, folks. If you want to hear the fairy sing you a nice little song, play that version.
Can I ask why you're not using her real quick?
Sure. It's because, well, okay, so we should say how the fairy familiar works. She doesn't really do anything. What she can do is there's certain items that the fairy can use. So that's like fairy potions and things like that. And she'll use those items to like heal Alucard or recover his status and things like that. And that's really all that she's good for. I'm not sure. She may have like other little abilities, like, I don't know, to stun enemies or something, but she's really not that useful, honestly, unless you just like stock up on those fairy items and just rely on her to heal you in battle. But there's generally much more efficient ways of beating this game than by doing that.
There's way cooler familiars
Yes.
than her.
Yeah.
Well, sure, but I'm just like, if you have her, why not use her? And you just can't be bothered.
Well, I have better familiars. Yeah. Like you
Already?
You almost
Oh, right
immediately
on.
get better ones. The guy that we're watching in this long play just got a better one.
Okay, right on.
And we're back. So I wanted to switch gears and talk a little bit about a brand new toy that we just got, which is called the Soul of Bat. So the whole reason we came here and battled the lesser demon is so that we could obtain the Soul of Bat, and there's a grate separating you from the Soul of Bat. You can only get it once you have the form of mist, which can pass through grates. So that's the whole reason why we had to take that detour to the Colosseum before we came back here. But at last we have it. Aaron, how does it feel becoming a bat?
It's fine. I need to figure out the, so far it's fine.
Yeah.
It's nice being able to get up places up high, but I need to figure out how to do these fast flying dashes and attacks and stuff, because, you know, with a bat by itself, doesn't move that quick.
Yeah.
It's not that quick when you're just flying around, but there are clearly ways to improve your logistical power and get where you want to go a little bit faster. So I got to figure that out.
We're watching this long play, and when you're in the form of bat, and speedrunners do this too, it's a spell actually that you can perform that makes the bat charge forward really fast. So it's a complicated button input. I'm not even really sure what the input is, but it's apparently a very difficult input. So when the long player is like doing that all the time to fly around constantly, that's actually something that like requires a pretty high degree of skill to pull off consistently like that. So I don't know. It seems like he's probably cheating, but I guess if you practice it, you can do it a lot.
I bet if you get a hang of it, I bet you can get the hang of it and do it pretty easily.
Yeah.
But he might be a fucking cheater, this fucking asshole.
Yeah. Anything he can do that I can't do, I choose to believe that he's cheating.
What about you, Andy? What do you feel about the bat?
I love it, man. You can fly anywhere now. Like, we basically have unlimited verticality. Yep. It's only limited by our MP, which anytime you're in any form, it slowly drains your MP. And that you know, it'll drain more if you do like the special spells and things like that. But it's great. Like, we now have unlimited access, more or less, to every place in the castle. We can fly as high as we want. And this opens up a lot of stuff. Like, you can backtrack and find tons and tons of items that were in previous areas that we couldn't get to before, even with the double jump. So there's actually lots of exploring to do. And I don't know how much exploring you guys want to do in between episodes, so to speak, you know, but we can talk about some of the more interesting things that you can find at this stage if you so choose.
Yeah, I think we should, because just watching this guy, this fucking cheater, go, he's finding all sorts of stuff in rooms that we've already been in, which I'm not sure I have the patience for finding all this stuff. But maybe if there's something really good, it'd be worth it.
All right, I found the name of this possible criminal. His name is Tsuneo, or at least that's what he goes by. So there you go, folks. You can blame that anonymous internet person for this long play. I
can't believe you just doxed him like that.
What if that was his real name?
Oh, I can't believe that we come out here and use our real names. We're such idiots. Our parents taught us better.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Definitely Andy is not my real name. I've been going by an alias this whole time.
Same. Sorry, Aaron. Wilson.
Yeah. Whose address is... I don't actually know your address. I was going to say it like as a joke. So
you'd not invited over.
69420.
I wanted you to have to like bleep it out later in post, but I don't have it. I don't have it ready to go, folks.
You guys, I'm gonna share a picture with you later on. There's a small park near, not too far from our house.
Is it a cheesecake photo?
No, it's not cheesecake. It's not cheesecake, but it is awesome. I'll put it on my Instagram too. But there's a historic house not too far from where I live. It's called Knob House, and
nice.
And its address is 420 whatever street it's on.
Nice.
Dick sucking lane.
Yeah. 42069.
Anyway, sorry to sidetrack there, but I just had to share that.
No, that was an important anecdote. I'm glad that you derailed the podcast to tell us that. Okay, well, we've got the form of bat. We can fly basically anywhere. There's a whole bunch of stuff we can get, and including some of the more interesting things are we can get the Bat Familiar, If you so choose, you can go and get the bat familiar. It's just another familiar. It's like a bat that flies around and attacks enemies. So you've already got one that's probably more useful on the whole than the poor fairy familiar. Although the bat won't sing you a song.
So she's like our own little iPod floating around us. So she doesn't attack anybody. Is that right? No. She just heals you?
That's right.
Okay. Well, no wonder. I was expecting her to attack, but no.
Oh no. Support only.
Yeah.
Utility fairy.
All she does is sing songs for you. Hey, do you know any Neil Diamond? I'm a big fan of his.
Do you like Mudvayne? Dum dum ding, dum dum ding. Singing in it, not
When I was
hey,
drunk
do
in Costa
you know
Rica,
any Ronnie James Dio?
When I was drunk in Costa Rica, I tried to get a mariachi band to play Smash Mouth. They did not know this song.
You should be arrested for that. You're just like hectoring this innocent mariachi band, just like screaming at them to play Smash Mouth. Hey, can you play All Star?
Yeah. They loved it. They were like, I don't know what this dumb American is saying. We're just going to keep going.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. Aaron's like, don't worry. They loved me.
They loved
me.
me.
They hung around us all night. I mean, we were the only ones in the restaurant, but they hung around us all night.
Right. Yeah. It's not like it's their job or anything. The waitstaff loves it when I harass them.
Comes home to his wife and just like sighs and sits down. She's like, drunk Americans again, honey. He's like, see.
Yeah. Yeah.
They were taking requests. If they knew it, that would have been amazing. They didn't. So, we moved on.
Freebird. The entire song, mariachi style.
Yeah. Dude, actually Freebird mariachi style would be pretty tight, I think.
It would be. Anything mariachi style that is not normally mariachi style.
Hold on, Aaron. You were talking, but you talked over Sam's excellent joke, which was, if I leave here mañana.
That's a good one.
I liked it. I'm sorry that Aaron didn't laugh at it, Sam, because I thought that was an excellent goof.
It'd be better. They just made the song better.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's see. What's some other stuff you can get? You can get the leap shoes or the leap boots.
Yeah, I want to get
gravity
those.
boots. They're really good.
I love those things. It's like one of those like moment. Like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, it makes you think of the game. Like, it's like like one of those.
It's
God,
like,
what's the word?
Yeah, it's pivotal. It sticks in your memory. Yeah. So these are the gravity boots. It's another relic that you can equip, and it allows you to jump really high in the air. You press down, up, jump in like rapid succession, and it causes Alucard to just go flying straight up in the air. And you can do it successive times, so you can get infinite verticality that way. And that's also how you can abuse the librarian.
I was going to say, that's a Superman leap then, huh?
Yeah. It's pretty tight. You don't need it because the form of that will get you everywhere you need to go, but it's nice to have.
Mm-hmm. It's very cool.
Yes. I believe if you hit a ceiling when you do it, you're like, you flip upside down and like sit on the, like kind of crouch on the ceiling.
You do, yeah. You hear like a crash. Yeah, he just did it.
Yeah.
Pretty tight.
Yeah, it's a very cool item.
So that the gravity boots are up in the clock room. So up the very middle of the clock room is like a vertical shaft, and if you fly up there with the form of bat, there's a whole bunch of items. Most of them aren't worthwhile, but the gravity boots are very cool and worth grabbing up there. And then there's some stuff you can get back in another section of the Marble Gallery in the kind of Lost Highway area with all the Cthulhu monsters. There were some ledges pretty high up that we couldn't get to before. Nothing too interesting there. It's just like some consumable items and maybe some equipment, stuff like that. Nothing too critical. But there's a lot of areas, like more than I remembered. Like there's one in the Colosseum, up in the very top of the Colosseum. There's a breakable ceiling. There's like a sword up there. Back in the alchemy lab, there's a very interesting room, which I think this is where the guy is headed. But back in the alchemy lab, there's like a room that has like all these like alchemic tanks that like they're all different colors. When you break them, all this fluid comes out. But they have all of the different sub-weapons.
which is really useful if you don't remember where all of them are.
Yeah.
Where to find one, you can just be like, okay, I'll just go there and find the one that I want.
It's every single one of them, I think. Yeah, right?
Just about. And I think this is the first time that we see the cross sub-weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you guys take the cross for a spin?
I have not gone through here yet.
Me neither.
But I definitely will try it out.
Okay.
Because now that I have the shield rod, the gun isn't as fun anymore. I gotta replace that.
Okay. Are real quick, are you guys still using the shield rod?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean,
I was just curious because,
you don't need to. I don't feel like you need to use it, but
right. No, and you still have it. You can switch back to it whenever you want. It's still there in your inventory. But when I got the anointed rod,
holy rod,
the holy rod,
yeah. When I got that, I really liked using it. You attack a lot faster, and it's got this cool area of attack. Like when you swing it in front of you, it's not just like a sword where it's just like that one spot in front of you that it stabs that you swipe through, but it's like got an area of attack, and I was like, this is pretty good. I like this, and it did more damage. So I was like, I think I'm going to give this a go for a little while, and I really
definitely
enjoyed using
cool. Yeah, I've used it before for sure. I'm just being a bitch and using the shield because I like using it.
So I got some data on the holy rod for you. It's holy attribute, plus 12 attack, which is pretty good. And it actually has a special effect. If you press left, right, attack, it does a holy blast.
You have to
so that's
try
kind
that
of cool.
out.
Yeah. Pretty good weapon. Although there are enemies that'll be resistant to holy. Not many, since we're fighting the creatures of darkness, but
most will be weak.
Yeah, but you'll occasionally find one where it's doing like 1 or 2 damage.
But it's definitely a badass weapon. I picked it up, tried it out. I remember it. It's definitely before, like one of the first few times I played the game, I ddid not know that the shield rod did the things that it did. You kind of have to look that shit up, and it was at a time where that wasn't really common. But I remember holy rod was in like the progression of my weapons through a normal playthrough for sure back then.
Yeah, the game does have a pretty smooth progression. Like every new area you go to, you're generally going to find a weapon or a piece of armor or something like that.
And it looks pretty sweet too. I like that it's glowy and
it's a badass weapon.
Yeah.
It's super cool looking.
Yeah, it's got that holy aura. Even when you swing it, it just kind of like flashes for a second.
Yeah, it's sick. I like it a lot. Having fun with it. Having fun.
Yeah.
Having fun. Keeping it loose. Having fun. There's also I forgot to mention this. I'm gonna have to find it in the video to show you guys. But you know that room where in the long library where there's like a secret wall that you can push, and then
the bookshelf on the right.
Yes. Yeah, that's a cool room, mostly because of these badass chairs that are in it.
Yeah, it's like those. It almost looks like those like wicker chairs that you like. They're like those like half circles that you put into a base. You remember those?
A Papa San chair?
Yeah, it kind of looks like, because like the bottom, like it looks like the top part doesn't look like those, but like it's like sitting in like a frame.
Yeah, it is. Like it's it looks like decorative art. Like if you went to a museum that had like, furniture in it, like artistic furniture, it looks like this is the kind of chair you would see here.
You can't sit in the chairs too.
You can't sit in the chairs?
You can. If you like hit up or like the same way you do other chairs, you can sit in it.
Yeah.
This is like a hookah lounge, right? Like this is
something. Yeah, something's going on. This green smoke though.
Yeah. Oh, Master Alucard. Why? As long as you're in the library, why not stop by the hookah lounge and spend some money?
Get litty with the old librarian.
You can buy a $10 coffee. Just don't take the books into the bathroom.
Yeah, I think that pushing through the bookshelf is where the holy rod is, I think.
Oh, let's check.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah, you're right.
It's like a topaz circlet, which like I think you get healed when you're poisoned, or hearts when you're poisoned or something. And then the holy rod.
Yeah, and I think the stone mask is around here someplace, which is an accessory that we get. It literally just looks like a mask made of stone, and that increases your defense by 2, and I think your intelligence by 2 or 3. Pretty good piece of accessory. I keep that one on for a good while.
Always makes me think of maybe it is, maybe it isn't a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure reference. In that manga, there's a stone mask that when you put it on, it puts spikes into your brain and it turns you into a vampire.
Oh shit, that sounds horrible.
Yeah, so it being a stone mask in Dracula's castle, it always makes me think of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
That sounds like
the main bad guy, generation-spanning bad guy, Dio. That's his name. He's the first, like, not the first vampire, but like the first in a long time, causing lots of shenanigans for the Joestar family over the decades.
Oh man, he's like Biff Tannen.
Yeah, if he was a butt-fucking vampire asshole.
I bet that is a reference. That sounds like something that they would
I
put
feel
in
like
here.
it must be, because like JoJo started, I think, in the late 80s. So by this, it would have been known, you know, for a while.
Mm-hmm. Well, the stone mask makes a return appearance in Bloodstained, Curse of the Moon, the game that IGA made recently, which is like an homage to the old Metroidvanias.
Right.
Yeah. And
very good game, by the way.
Very good game. Yeah, I love Bloodstained. It's like I'm playing the Switch version, which is kind of notorious for having like weird glitches and like graphical things that don't quite work right. So that's kind of a bummer, but it is a very good game. I would recommend it to anybody.
It feels a lot like this game.
Yeah.
For a good reason, since it's the same guy.
Right. Yeah. IGA made it. Michiru Yamane did the music. So yeah, it's Castlevania, except they can't call it that because they don't have the license.
Exactly. But it's basically a Castlevania game.
Yeah.
As close as we're going to get.
They even got Robbie Belgrade back to play a librarian in that one.
Mm-hmm.
a vampire librarian.
But yeah, cool stuff this time around. Form of Bat, always useful. Introducing familiars. And now the hunt is on for goodies.
Yes, there's a lot to do, and there's one thing I remembered. I don't think the long player guy shows it at this point in the video, but you can go all the way back to like the very first room in the castle, like the one where you met the Owl Knight, Sam, and got your ass kicked. The one that's actually like there. It's like like the castle courtyard, like right outside the front door. And if you fly up there, there's some stuff up there. We can start picking up like a series of relics that are all like upgrades to the different forms. So there's like the power of wolf, the spirit of wolf. You know, it's all these different ones. And so there's one that lets the wolf run really fast. There's one that lets the mist form be like extend. Yeah, you can like do poison when you like hover over enemies.
You can go longer because I remember you have to go longer because I remember being able to like fly around like the bat a little bit as the mist, but I may be misremembering.
I think you're right. I think one of them lets you do that. And that can be a good way to get through really tough rooms. Just go mist because you're invincible when you're in mist form. Just float through difficult rooms.
Can I ask you real quick? Is there anything that needs the wolf form to do?
Kind of. There's a few sections where there's like really like it's too short for Alucard to walk through, and the wolf has to fit through it.
Okay.
But then, later you get mist and bat, and that's kind of irrelevant. But that's really the only thing I can think of.
Okay,
it's more useful.
I was trying to think of if like there was a time thus far that we've needed the wolf. Like I've used it for like long hallways and running and making a jump. I may used it to make a jump, but that's, all of that's irrelevant. And the jump wasn't something we were supposed to do yet anyway. So like that wasn't intended.
I used the mist for that earlier. I did a double jump, and at the very height of the jump, misted just enough to go up over onto a ledge that I couldn't get onto.
Oh, nice.
But it's not the most useful shape-shifting thing. Yeah. And it doesn't get kind of useful until you get the dash.
Yeah.
And then it's really only useful if you're going down a long hallway, which there's only like a handful of.
Yeah.
Right. Because you run into him and you got to turn back into Alucard because
it's more like, hey, we've got an extra button. A dog, I guess.
Like, could Alucard turn into one in the previous game, and so like it was a legacy item? You had to stick it in here.
Think he turned into anything at all.
Well,
like
he can go bat. Yeah, bat in Castlevania 3. That's his whole thing.
But
yeah,
not wolf. They were just like dog. Yeah, okay. Weird purple dog.
I think that's a traditional vampire thing that they had like different forms they could take.
I think Mist, Bat, Dog were Dracula, right? I know it's in like the movie Bram Stoker's Dracula, right? Doesn't he turn into a dog, like a weird beast or something? I don't know what you call it.
He does. Yeah, he turns into a weird beast that likes to get it on.
Yeah, like stuff. Fuck women.
I love that movie, man. Gary Oldman is just off his nut.
It's a fucking fever dream of a movie.
It's insane. Yeah, it's great.
It's got so many cool like cinematic visual stuff, like weird in-camera effects and stuff. Mm-hmm. It's just a wacky ass movie.
It's got it's Francis Ford Coppola just going totally ham, just having a ball with it. Some people say The Godfather is his best film, but they're wrong. It's Bram Stoker's Dracula.
So many weird. It's such a just take the Dracula. It's just as a movie, like a piece of art that was made. It's so weird.
It is,
in a good way.
It's just like leaning so hard into like the weirdness and the campiness of it, but all the actors are just playing it like so seriously. Like Gary Oldman is just like completely unhinged as Dracula, like, swinging between like insane million-year-old Dracula with the big hair bun to like young, sexy Dracula with like hip glasses and like a hip goatee and
that fucking armor when he's Vlad Tepes, like the muscly bat head armor. Like, what the fuck, man? And then
he stabs the cross and a bunch of blood starts squirting out of it that he drinks, and that's how he becomes a vampire.
Oh, it's the cross blood. Don't drink the cross blood, they tell you. Or you'll be or you'll become a Dracula.
Anthony Hopkins is of course great as Van Helsing himself. Recent Academy Award winner, Anthony Hopkins. Yeah. Shouts out to the man.
Academy Award winner and TikTok star, Anthony Hopkins.
Yes.
Best living actor and TikTok star, Anthony Hopkins.
He'll get a TikTok Oscar soon.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
He's like, I truly didn't believe that I would win this TikTok award. I'm here in Wales with all of my animals, and it's 4 a.m. Thank you for the TikTok award. All right, well, let's get back to Castlevania. There was something else I wanted to talk about, but I can't remember it now. The music is the same. Right. It's the wood partita or something like that, but it's still a banger. Wood carving partita. So, folks, I didn't want you to think that I had forgotten to mention the music for this stage, as I do sometimes. We said it already in a previous episode.
Yeah, it's still fucking awesome. I love the harpsichord fancy party music. It's great.
Yeah. The Long Librarian's theme is still a banger. Did you guys go back and purchase anything new from the Long Librarian?
No, I did not.
Yes.
Well, I mean,
ooh, you know him well, I guess.
You know what, Alucard? I have a nickname. They call me the Long Librarian.
Would you like to see why I wear robes, Alucard?
Oh, that was a nickname from the old days, back in my acting days. Oh, man.
No, I did not go back.
I bought the diamond breastplate, and then I also bought the iron shield because I didn't have it last time before, so I could play around with the magic from the shield rod.
You're gonna want that, brother.
Yeah, and it was a lot of fun. Just being able to, with the press of two buttons, and you could just wipe out everything on your screen.
Kill everything.
Yeah, pretty nuts.
And you know what? I did what Sam suggested last time, which is to remap the buttons, which on the Dracula X Chronicles version, at least you can do. And then
did the same thing.
Good. So I got square and R1 is what I'm rolling with. A lot easier than trying to press square and circle at the same time.
Oh, yeah. Because it's kind of finicky on like getting them both at the same time, at least on my version. I kind of have to like put my shield out and like spam the attack button, and it doesn't always come out right away, but it doesn't really matter. Once it's out, that's all that matters.
Once it's out, it doesn't go back in. Yeah. That's what they used to say about me, Master Alucard. Once it's out, it don't go back in.
Till the job's done.
I have to go now. I forgot my library card. Goodbye.
I'll sell you one. Come back.
He's got all these spells he's selling too. Did you buy any of the spell items, the magic scrolls?
Nope.
Didn't buy any spells. What about you?
Well, yeah, sure, I did, but you don't technically need them, right? They just tell you what the sequence is. It's nice to have, just to remind yourself of what the sequence is. But if you've already performed it, it shows up in your menu. So you don't strictly have to spend any money on these. They're not that. Oh, okay. I guess they are that expensive. I was going to say the first one's 500, but then later they're like 15,000.
Yeah, some of them get a little costly, but
God.
like you said, money is not too hard to come by. It's just hanging out in the light bulbs.
Yeah,
so
that's true. It is very plentiful. God, 15,000 for Soul Steel though. That's outrageous.
I mean, that's the one that fucks the world, right?
It does fuck the world. That's true.
I think it's probably a reasonable price, honestly.
It's a steal at twice the price, Master Alucard. Okay, well, I suppose that's about it. Apparently, I didn't think this was true, but apparently later on in the game, he does start selling some new stuff. There's like some super advanced weapons here that we haven't seen yet. So, but maybe later on, we can come back and do a repeat visit. And then, of course, there's stuff that he won't sell till New Game Plus, which we're not going to worry too hard about. But yeah, that's it for the Master Librarian. I mean, we may not be seeing him for the rest of the game. Honestly, like there's not really a lot of reasons to come back to the Long Library after this, which is unfortunate because it's one of the cooler areas, I think. But unless you want to come back to make some more purchases, there's probably not going to be much reason to come back and visit the Master Librarian.
I'll miss that kooky old pervert.
Who will buy my library cards?
who will kick out the people that are using the internet when they're not supposed to?
Who's going to rocket up my butthole from below?
Oh no, please don't do that, Master Alucard. Okay. Well, fellas, that is about all we have to say this week. So we've done some good exploring, or well, I don't know if you guys have done. I did some exploring. You guys can choose whether or not you want to. But between
got some exploring to do. There's a little Lucy humor there, folks. A little I Love Lucy humor for you.
You hit her pretty hard there, Rick. He hit her again.
Before we start wrapping up, I just gotta say again, like I think that the design of the bat looks a little too much like a bird. I don't like the wings. The wings look like they have feathers, and it trips me up. I can't help but thinking it every time, and they really dropped the ball there. So that's all I'm gonna say.
Fair enough.
I don't like it.
Did you see?
Not a lot of bats in Japan, I guess.
They were just like the IGA was like, "What does a bat look like? Does it look like this? Yeah, why not?"
Like I see the little like hook claws on the wings, so like they got that going for it. But besides that, it just looks like a bird. It just looks like a bird, and it's especially confusing because when he does the double jump, like his cape turns into wings, like bird wings, not bat wings, bird wings.
And did you notice, Aaron, in the Castlevania cartoon show season 4, Alucard does perform a double jump at one point, and his cape turns into bat wings.
Oh yes, I caught many a reference in there. He he also turns into the wolf.
He does
briefly, but he does do that. And he turns into a swarm of bats. He turns into a swarm of bats. He doesn't turn into a singular bat ever, I don't think, but he turns into a swarm.
He does, and he was also wielding the fabled Alucard shield, which I really appreciated.
I fucking saw that too.
Yeah.
It was so good.
He's like, "Don't worry, this is the real one. I've tried to stamp out all those forgers making the Alucard equipment, but you wouldn't believe how difficult it is to stop those guys."
But guys, just so you know, I will be forcing us to do a 4-episode special about each season of Castlevania. Just so you're aware that that's going to be a thing in the future.
We can probably do it in one episode, don't you think?
There's a lot of that great show, a lot of ground to cover, and so we're gonna do 4. So
why don't we just do one episode of this show for every episode of that show?
I'm down. We're just going to change the entire format. We're just going to watch TV now, guys. No more video games. Just television and us talking about it.
Dude, why not? Let's just shift formats in the middle of this series.
We're now a Castlevania TV show / Invincible TV show.
One binge at a time.
There you go.
It's just going to be Sam telling us about like the chapter of the manga that he read this week.
He wants to. I see right
now.
You want me to bring it up? I'll tell you about it.
No, it's a heavy hitting manga. That's all. It's you get some feels out of it.
Yeah, feels,
and it's fucking weird. I'm surprised they're making an anime.
Manga is weird.
Yeah, but I'm surprised that I don't know. It just seems like. I'm surprised it was in Shonen Jump, to be honest.
Well, usually I ask Sam at the end of the show what words of wisdom he has, but since we're talking about it already, Sam, what is this manga that you've been reading?
So it's called Chainsaw Man, and it's been done for a little while. It was a hugely popular serialized manga in Shonen Jump, and Studio Mappa, who does a lot of good stuff.
Studio Nappa?
Mappa. With
hey, Vegeta, I have a manga studio now.
They're going to do an adaptation, and I'm just the more I read it, the more I think like it's not really a shonen, so it's going to be interesting. It's not the kind of comic I expected to have read in out of Shonen Jump.
They do some kind of mature stuff sometimes.
It's definitely along that lines. It's very violent. There's a lot of death in it. It's really horny too, which is kind of like weird, like in a weird way. It kind of comes off in a weird way.
And people wonder why like Japanese men have all these like really regressive ideas.
Yeah. But the main character, like some stuff happens, but like basically he's got a little pull lever in his chest. And when he pulls it, his head kind of turns into like a helmet with like big spiky teeth, but a chainsaw blade pops out of his forehead, and like from like his elbow out of his hands, it's like in between his hands, and like it
turned into a chainsaw.
Yeah, and he fights. So like the whole idea is that there's demons in the world, and there's like demon hunters, but they're like it's kind of like a government thing where there's like the public sector, but if it gets too crazy, they call in like the government side and they come in and they handle it. But the main character, like you don't really know why. I think you might find out later. Like he's like lives on his own. He's kind of like not quite feral, but like you know he sleeps on the floor and he'll like hunt some demons and get paid for it, and like he eats like just bread. Like so he doesn't know
is it like a like fantasy world type thing?
It's our world if like these demons kind of existed in it.
All right.
And he's got this little, it's like a little cute looking dog, but it's got a chainsaw for a face. And he uses it to kill these demons. Amazing. And one day he gets betrayed basically and he gets killed and like chopped up into pieces and like dumped in a fucking dumpster. Jesus. But like his blood drips onto this demon dog and they basically kind of fuse together, and that's how he can like become this chainsaw man. But
that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
But he gets caught by the demon hunters, but there's like a group that like use demons to kind of fight other demons. And there's this there's more like he's Chainsaw Man, there's a Katana Man later. But
so there's this fused with his katana dog.
This is a Mega Man game. They've just got all the men.
But it's real fucked up and depressing. There's this guy called they talk about this kind of like amorphous like gun man. So all the demons too, by the way, are like there's specific things, and like the more people are afraid of that thing, like guns, the stronger they are. So like the gun man is like super strong demon,
of course, yeah.
But like he's like there's this great montage of like the gunman was in America for 5 seconds and 100,000 people died, and like he was in this place for this many minutes and this many people died. So like he's like fucked up like a bunch of people that work for the demon hunter like squad or whatever. Like they're there because they want to try and kill this gun demon because he killed someone they knew. But they find these like pieces that the closer you get to another piece, they want to like join together. So they kind of use that to hunt down pieces of this gun demon. They're like cartridge shells made out of flesh.
Dude, this is sounding like Videodrome.
It's wacky. It's totally crazy. It's great. I can't stop reading it, and it's like it bounces around from like funny to like sad to like fucked up to like horny. And it's getting an anime. I can't wait to watch it. But I've been reading a lot of it online. Like $1.99, you can read most of Shonen Jump's backlog on their website.
That sounds like a pretty good deal. And also Totally Cuckoo Bananas manga, which I will be interested in watching the anime
and
of. His
whole thing is it's like, you know, a trope from in like manga is like a time limit, right?
Yeah.
You know, his thing is when he summons up these blades, it's actually like ripping through his body, and so he's bleeding out, and so like the more blood he loses, the like he like can't fight anymore.
Jesus.
And like he can recharge if he drinks someone's blood, and like he can get killed, but if like they like if like his like he gets his limbs and stuff ripped off in fights.
Oh my god.
But if they pull his chain again in his chest, he'll regain his body parts again.
Hey, Master Alucard, pull my chain.
There's a great training montage with him and another person, and the guy training them just kills them over and over again, and like brings them back to life. It's like you need to train harder, you know. Like it's really weird, but
man.
it's good. It's one of the better manga I've read in a long time.
All right, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. Yeah. I'll check it out.
You got to read that, and there's one other one I'll bring up. This I won't go into as much detail, but I forget the name. It's like Macho. I think it's what it's called. Macho Muscle.
Macho Muscle.
It's Macho with an L.
Oh yeah, it's Macho Muscle.
It's like a mix of muscle and magic. Basically, imagine Harry Potter, but instead of Harry Potter, it's Rock Lee.
Oh,
it's a kid who has no magic, but he's like, it's really funny. It's like a comedy one. But he's like super muscly, and like some guy like tries to shoot his big magical beam, and he just goes and like knocks it with his hand out of the way. But it's like it's not serious at all. It's like very, very funny, like spoofy comedy.
All right.
But it's just funny to watch him like take down all these like magic people. Like he's like get challenged to a race on a broom, but he can't do it. So what he does is he just throws the broom as hard as he can, and then he like jumps onto it and just
surfs on it.
They're like, world record broken.
I love it.
Yeah, it's really funny. Not as good as Chainsaw Man, but it's new and it's pretty funny.
Well, folks, check out those mangas.
Viz.com. Most of these you can read the first 5 chapters for free, and then you have to pay $2 a month. But that's what I recommend is Viz.com.
Read those chapters. Do not pirate it. We do not support piracy on this program. That's going to do it for this week. And folks, we're going to be back next week with another episode of One Stage at a Time. We will be continuing Castlevania Symphony of the Night, and we will be using our new bat form to venture into Ulrox's quarters for real this time. So you can look forward to that next week on the show, folks. And Aaron, what do you want to say to the folks at home before we go today?
I want to say domo arigato for listening, and please go to onestageatatime.com. Did I use it wrong? I know I used it wrong, Sam. It's driving him crazy. Go to onestageatatime.com for more of our things. Give us a like, share, and subscribe. It really helps out the podcast, and we will see you next week. Sayonara. Until then, please save and continue.